Preview. Preview.
Hello everyone, I'm here to talk about one of my passions, which is golf. I want to talk about how I got into it, what I like about it, why you should be playing golf, and I also changed my appearance because I've been given positive feedback saying that I don't look like professional enough when I do my videos, so I took a shower. Now my hair is all wet, and I don't know, clean up. I guess it's gonna help make my content better. Probably not, but that doesn't really matter. So let's get started on golf. So first, how did I start playing golf at all? It's a long story. It starts with one of my previous companies where I used to work, which is Padron Morel, and they had an annual golf tournament. So I went there twice or three times. It's the first time I got my hands on a golf club. I tried it. I was awful at it, but it was a fairly safe environment where you can, try and get a feel of what golf is, golf etiquette, golf culture. It was okay. Got started with it, but didn't really play after that. Then there was another important step, and it was Mr. Albert Bourget, who is my mom's partner father. And he had a set of golfs, a vintage set of golf, but very high quality, just not especially new. And he told me that he didn't have any use for it, and if I wanted, I could have them. So I took them, and now I had golf clubs at my house, and a very beautiful bag with a full set of clubs and a cart and everything. Even balls, tees, pencils, everything that you need to, even the umbrella, everything that you need to play golf. So I was like, well, since I have it, I might just get started. And together with this, my friend Willie got hooked to golf a bit earlier than me and started playing with his uncle, took private classes and stuff. So when he found out about my golf clubs and stuff, he started taking me to the driving range. And I have to thank him for that. Thank you, Willie, for motivating me and pushing me, because he offered to pick me up, go to the driving range, practice together, show me how to hold the clubs, how to, basic technique. And most people, when you invite them to activities, they're like, no, I'm tired, I'm busy. And by busy, they usually mean staying at home and do nothing, which I find I criticize a bit how people are very isolationist nowadays. Like, they just want to stay home alone, and I feel like COVID just gave them the perfect opportunity. But many people were already like this long before COVID. I don't even know why they complain about confinement. They were auto-confined. But anyways, I'm not like that. So every time Will invited me, I went, and I started liking it. Getting started with golf, and then I realized that in terms of golf, there was a direct relation, or a direct connection or correlation between how much effort I put into golf and how good I became. Because, this is a whole new debate that I could start, and well, I will start, and it's whether talent exists or not. Because my other friend, which is Simon, claims that talent doesn't really exist. You can be good at anything if you practice high enough or start early on. But I tend to disagree based on observation. Empirically, you can easily determine that this is not true, because there are activities or sports or passions that you're really just really naturally good at. So in my case, for example, learning languages, for the amount of effort I put, the amount of languages I learn is really high. Like right now, I'm just chilling with Brazilian friends, and I'm essentially becoming a fluent speaker of Portuguese. And this is something I'm talented at. But for example, dancing is something I'm not talented at. I took classes of dancing with my friend Willie, of course, who was my private teacher for a while. I paid for classes, different sort of professors. I practiced an entire summer. For 2 years, I was fully into dance. And I did improve a bit, but overall, I didn't improve much. And I'm just not talented at dance. So I guess I could become a professional dancer, but the amount of effort I would have to put would be colossal, huge. Whereas for golf, I didn't have this impression. With golf, I played more and I became better, obviously better. So I'm gonna show you, this is one of my videos when I started playing, and my friend Willie is the commentator speaking in Spanish. And he asked me if I'm satisfied with my shot, and back then I answered, yes, I'm satisfied, but looking back at the video, I'm not very satisfied. There are so many problems with my technique. First, my back is too straight, I should be more bended. And my elbow should be more straight. It's absolutely bended when I go back. I always tell people, don't bend your elbow, but in this video I wholly bend it. And then the sound of the impact is really bad. It was off center. When the ball hits the club at the center, it's a sound, but this one is ting, a side sound. Didn't go far, didn't go well. So, okay, it was good for a beginner, but it's a terrible shot. So take a look.
Es el señor Sánchez que va a hacer una golpa. Un golpe. Wow, qué bueno, mira. La verdad está muy lejos. Es-tu fier ta shot? Muy bien, Pepito.
All right, all right, all right. So you saw this, my rudimentary level when I just started. And then after that, I did play with my friend Willie quite a lot, but other players started intervening in my golf activities. So there was my friend Francis, who was a long time player. He played with his dad, he played with his family for a long time, but I don't know if it is the case, but I think I got him back into it, you know? I just tell him, dude, let's go play, and he started playing more regularly, I have the impression, or maybe he played before and he didn't tell me, but anyways, we started playing together very often. And it was good because he's good. He's better than me. Like he has very good technique, a lot of power, and he's very competitive and technical in what he does. He tries new things. Like he spends so much effort trying to learn to curve the ball properly and use it in games that I got into it also, and now I can do it. Curve the ball in both directions, which is amazing. This is like a dream come true when you play golf. And playing with him, talking, catching up about life and life goals, etc. was really fun and generally improving. So, Brent brought a friend that I had not seen that much in recent years back into contact with me, which was really cool. Then my parents got into it, like my mom and her partner, Pierre. They started like somewhat reluctantly, like they were kind of like trying it. But then, they realized that golf is a very relaxing sport. You really have no stress. You just play, you enjoy having a time with your friends, family, relatives, whoever you play with. And at the end of the day, I mean, you're there to have fun, and they have tons of fun. And now that I'm in Korea, I'm happy that they still play on their own. And I hope they will continue because, I mean, they were really not far behind me when I left. So if they train hard enough, they will kick my ass when I come back, which I would be very happy about. Then there is other people I got into golf. Well, they already played. Okay. My friend Simon already played golf before, but we went to play a few times and it was, debate night. We just talked about all sorts of topics. There was my friend Rene. Rene was the funniest. When I talked to Rene about golf years ago when we were in the debate competitions, I did not play golf and I did not know if I liked golf that much, but I was fairly open-minded, so I was like, golf could be fun. And he famously told me that if golf is a sport, washing the dishes should also be a sport. And I was like, wow, that's a powerful message. But I'm happy that now he disagrees with himself and he admits that golf is really a fun sport because, and maybe I should have gotten into this earlier, what's cool about golf? Like I just said, I mean, building bonds. I build bonds like with my former coworkers at Permovel, with Willie who helped me like get into this, with Francis that I spent tons of time together, with my mom and her partner, with Simon, with Rene, with Farrell and Stefan who also came once in a while. So meeting people, because in golf you have to know that maybe 80% of the time you're essentially walking and talking with your friends. So it's important to meet people you want to talk with, you want to build bonds. That's why it's a sport used for business, because if you bring a business partner along, it's the perfect opportunity to talk about who you are, what you like, what you do in a fairly beautiful atmosphere. Like golf courses are always beautiful to look at, usually like hills, lakes, beautifully decorated with trees, and it's a relaxing natural environment. A walk is a healthy activity. I mean, it's just like going for a stroll anywhere, just in a much nicer place. And to this, you add golf, which is a high intensity training, high intensity activity. The idea being that you're very active for a short amount of time, like when you warm up and you hit, and then you stop being active. So apparently, this is a very good way of like activating your metabolism. But even if it wasn't, I mean, it's fun. There is the relaxing aspect of like, taking this little ball, hitting it really hard and seeing it go really far. And even better, if it falls exactly where you wanted it to fall, you're like pretty satisfied. But there is the technical part of golf, and golf is an extremely technical sport. And it's a balance of like knowing the technique and being able to perform it. Because I could explain you like all I know about golf. I mean, I'm far from a professional. I just have basic knowledge, but still a lot. Like how to position your feet, your knees, your elbows, how to turn your shoulders, where to look at, how to transfer your weight, when and how to turn your hips, how to take into account the wind, the humidity, if the grass is wet or not, which club to choose, get used to your distances, adjust your grip, spin the ball inside or outside, top spin it, back spin it. There is a lot of things you can do in golf, okay? But the thing is, when you decide what you want to do, you still have to do it. And in golf, changing like the angle of your club or the distance or the point of impact by a millimeter can have a like huge impact in how well your ball is like directed or how far it goes. So I mean, every time you play golf, every time you hit the ball, you should decide all these technical aspects I mentioned earlier, and then get in that state of mind where you can actually perform this activity. And it's a very high precision activity, you know? It doesn't require strength, it requires technique, flawless technique. So you have to, you know, create this emptiness in your mind, visualize your shot, warm up, and then sometimes under pressure, I mean, sometimes your friends are around you making fun of you and being like, ha ha ha, you're gonna fuck up, you're gonna throw it to the lake. And sometimes that's exactly what happens, you know, you hit it in a sloppy way and go straight into a lake, or you lose the ball, or you miss the ball, you know. But when you manage to be like in the right place mentally, you can hit a very good shot. So there was one very fun game that I played with my friend Willie, where there was a fairly arrogant guy. He came there with like his like thousands of dollars equipment. I mean, his putter was $800, at $800 putter. That's the cheapest club in a golf club set. So he was clearly very arrogant and extremely well equipped. But I mean, we played better than him, and it made him shut up because he told me like where to aim, and I am exactly where he suggested. And he was like, "Wow, you're really precise." And I was like, "Yes." And I love it. It's fun in golf when you're able to control the ball. It's actually really fun, but it's really hard. So how can you apply this to life? Well, life is a bit like that, you know? Some decisions or some actions you have to perform are not that hard. You just have to be in the right mindset to do them and be focused, be relaxed, be concentrated. So golf helps me do that, you know? I mean, I talk with my friends, I say jokes, and we're having lots of fun, but when you go to hit the ball, etiquette requires other people to not talk because you need absolute concentration. And it's kind of like, I don't know, two worlds. Like on one side you were like active, having fun, even drinking, and then all of a sudden you're 100% focused, looking at your ball, thinking about your shoulder movement, your hip movement, keeping your elbows straight, controlling how you use your wrist into the action, and it's really fun. It's just really fun when it works, and to make it work well, training is of the essence. Like going to the field and practicing is something that you have to do. And something that I had a good time doing. I mean, after work, I would go almost every day, practice shots, practice different clubs. Some of my clubs I mastered like fairly well. My number 6 club was like my, emergency club when I needed to do a very precise, powerful shot. 6 club never failed me. The traditional 7th club, which is supposed to be the most standard one, I do not quite master yet. But the number 9 club, I mastered it quite well. When I hit my 9 full strength, I know I'm gonna go straight up, do a beautiful, bell-shaped curve and fall exactly at my distance. I know my distances for my sticks, for my clubs. For every club, I know more or less at which distance I'm gonna hit it. And you can adjust this depending how high you put your ball, how hard you hit it. There are adjustments, but and also the distance I'm able to hit has increased significantly over time. When I started playing, I remember in one of the golf courses where we used to go, there was an island, so we had to put it in the island, and I needed to use my number 6 club to put it on the island to be powerful enough, to not fall in the water. And by the end of the season, I was using my number 9 club. Number 9 club full strength, I could easily go into this island. And with the number 8, I would very often go beyond. So power increased, precision increased. It's really like I don't know, democratic sporting that anybody can be good at it. You don't need to be that athletic or that strong. It can be expensive though. That's one of the downsides of golf. But of course, there are ways of playing it in a non-expensive way. So, for example, in Montreal, near Montreal in Laval, I go to play in a very, very affordable golf course. So, aristocratic, arrogant, unpleasant golf players tend to hate this golf course. But I don't know. It depends what are your goals. My goal is not to play in the PGA, so going to this affordable golf club where I can play often and not get bankrupted and have a good time with my friends. And I mean, when a golf club is more like affordable, it tends to be less strict on the rules. So a very expensive classic golf club, usually you need to be a member and you cannot go unless you're invited by a member or you become a member. Very expensive, or like prestigious golf courses, you cannot be a member unless you're invited by another member. So it's a very small group that's hard to get inside. Whereas where I play now, there is not such thing as like memberships. Like they don't really care about the dress code. The downside is that the field is not always in top shape, form. The grass might be like not taken care of as well as if I paid like 10 times more for the same fee. But at the same time, you can look at the bright side of it and just learn to deal with the situation. The grass is longer, shorter, the terrain is even, uneven. Practice to read it. You can make the most of it out of it and had a great time. Played out in very beautiful golf courses. I cannot deny it. Some of them was like a movie. I couldn't believe how nice and beautiful it was. So yeah, well, my video was a lot less concise than I expected or I planned it to be, but I think you get the overall idea. Golf is just a really cool activity to have with friends, have a good activity, practice your mindset, your concentration, your precision, to a certain extent your physical ability, although, it's not the most energetic sport that you can practice. And I leave you with some images that over the course of the last summer I recorded, mostly my friends or my mom, of me just hitting balls in different settings and having a great time. So enjoy, and I hope we can play golf together soon.
C'est toi la prochaine.
Bon, en plein milieu, moi.
C'est passé, Victor.
J'ai passé.
Oh mon Dieu Seigneur. Écoute, au moins tu as fait un coup parfait. Au moins tu as fait un coup parfait.
Ça a parlé pas bête, c'est loin.